Hello, I'm Randy McClure. Welcome to the latest supply chain tech brief. We all rely on the global supply chain for pretty much everything, from our morning coffee to the phones we're holding. But what looks like this well oiled machine from the outside is, well, it's often a chaotic mess behind the scenes. Today, we're going to dig into a really powerful idea that could finally get it all sorted out. Let's get into it. So, what's the deal? I mean, we live in an age of instant everything, right? So, why do we still have delayed packages, empty shelves, and just massive, massive inefficiencies? Why can't all these incredibly complex systems just, talk to each other? And here it is. This is the heart of the matter. It's not about the connection itself. The pipes are all there. The real problem is one of understanding. Our systems can shoot files back and forth all day long, but they often have absolutely no clue what the information inside those files actually means. And that difference between just sending something and truly understanding it, that's everything. So, to figure a way out of this tangled web, we first have to understand how we got so tangled up in the first place. Let's follow the thread back to the root of the problem. You see, for decades, businesses have been focused on software, an application centric approach. They bought the app, installed it, and the data, well, the data was just a byproduct. And the result, as you can see, is a total mess. You get data scattered and duplicated across different systems, it gets outdated and inaccurate fast, and trying to connect everything is just a nightmare. It's incredibly expensive and takes forever. And the real kicker? As data hops from one app to another, its original meaning is completely lost in translation. And don't just take my word for it. As supply chain tech advisor Randy McClure puts it, we've basically built this prison ourselves. By creating thousands of these custom one off connections, we've created a data integration nightmare. It's a self inflicted wound and it's costing businesses a fortune. Okay, so it sounds pretty bad, but there is a solution, and it's actually a really elegant one. What if, instead of building 1,000 different custom translators, we just taught all of our systems to speak the same universal language from day one? And that's the big idea behind semantic interoperability. It's not just about getting a file from point A to point B. It's about making sure that when that data arrives, the system on the other end understands it with the exact same unambiguous meaning that the sender intended. So the key takeaway is this: data isn't just sent, it's actually truly understood. And this comparison here just lays it out so clearly. The old way, where we are right now, is all about data transmission. Can you send the file? Yep. Does the technical connection work? Sure. But that's not enough. The goal is data translation. Does the system getting the file understand the business context? Does it know that SKU 123 is a very specific product with specific dimensions? When that works, the whole business logic works. So how does the message get so messed up? Honestly, it's like a giant global game of telephone. As we can see here, the communication breaks down in one of three ways. First, maybe the sender just doesn't provide a clear dictionary for what their data means. Second, you could have a simple technical error on the receiving end. And third, even if all the tech is perfect, someone might just misunderstand the business definition. A tiny misinterpretation of a product code could end up sending the wrong item halfway across the planet. If you need an analogy, this is the perfect one. Before we had standardized shipping containers, loading and unloading ships was just pure chaos. It was a time consuming, expensive puzzle. The container standardized the physical world of trade. Well, data standards, the foundation of all this, do the exact same thing for the information world. They create a common, predictable structure that everybody can use. Okay, so we get the problem and we have a name for the solution. But how do we actually make it happen? Well, the good news is there's a pretty clear four-step path to get us to that future. Here's our roadmap. It all starts with a big shift in thinking. Then it moves into collaboration, ditching old bad habits, and finally embracing some pretty cool new tools. Let's break each one down. First up, and you could argue this is the most important step, is a total shift in perspective. For decades, it's all been about the software, the application that does the work. We need to flip that on its head. Companies have to start treating their data as the core strategic asset, and the software is just a tool to manage that asset. The data has to come first, period. In this quote right here, it just nails why that shift is so critical. That old way of thinking, focusing on the application, is exactly what created the data silos we're all trying to break down now. And when your data is trapped, you can't use it to make smarter, faster decisions across your entire business. So once you start treating your data like the crown jewels, the next logical step is to agree on a common language for it. And the great thing is, companies don't have to start from zero. There are entire groups called Standards Development Organizations, or SDOs, whose whole job is to get industries together to build that shared dictionary. And these SDOs are already doing some amazing work. GS1, they're the reason a barcode you scan in one country is understood in another. You've got organizations like ASTM defining new frameworks for tracking data. And maybe most importantly, they're creating business glossaries, these common dictionaries, so that a term like shipment date means the exact same thing to every single person in the supply chain. All right, step three. This one is all about breaking a really common but really bad habit. For years, the default solution for connecting two systems was to build a custom proprietary bridge just for them. It feels like a quick fix, right? But over time, you're not building a network. You're just creating a rickety pile of one off planks that all lead to dead ends. And you can just see the chaos it creates. Every custom connection is a new potential point of failure. It leads to inconsistent data formats, it limits who you can even share data with, and it locks you into specific software vendors. It's a massive roadblock to getting that real time, accurate view of your supply chain that you desperately need. And that brings us to our final step, using new technologies to turbocharge this whole process. We can use all this emerging tech as a powerful catalyst to build a system that's not just connected, but is truly intelligent. So, what does that actually look like? Well, it means using AI to automatically map and translate data between systems, doing work in seconds that used to take teams of people months. It means using something called knowledge graphs to create a smart map of your supply chain so a system understands not just what a product is, but its entire history and journey. And it means using digital identity to create secure, verifiable credentials for every partner, system, and device, making the entire network trustworthy. So there you have it. We've gone from the tangled, messy web of today's supply chain to a clear four-step plan for the future. And let me tell you, that future looks a whole lot different. And this is the payoff. This is why all of this matters. The promise here is a world where information flows as effortlessly as a shipping container moves from a boat to a truck. It's a supply chain where decisions are proactive instead of reactive, and where everything becomes, finally, truly seamless. Hello, this is Raymond McClure from SC Tech Insights. Thank you for listening. For more on this topic, click the article link below or go to www.sctechinsights.com for the latest insights on supply chain technology. Thank you and see you next time.